Hello everybody, my name is EJ Gaming, also otherwise known as EJT080, and today we are playing a game called The Beginner's Guide. I'm actually very pumped for this game because the director that made this is supposed to be actually a real life story based on real life events it's basically, and I believe the director of the Stanley Parable made this game. So I'm actually very pumped, and I can't wait to play it. Anyways, let's do this. Make sure audio's on, okay? My audio is up. Controls, W8. Okay, that's simple enough. Turn up my volume so you guys can hear it.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011.
Okay.
We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
You can walk around here, by the way. And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here.
Okay.
So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveyWreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Loading, November 2008. Wow, okay. Dude, this is cool. Yeah. Whoa, what is this? Where am I? I'm in the police. It's very... Oh, I guess... Oh, crap, scares me.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
Whoa! Okay. Lighter, darker, lighter. Can't shoot anymore. Whisper machine. Excavate immediately. Go! Run! Oh, that way.
Security call breached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
It kind of looks like this game was abandoned mid-development. For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets.
Yeah.
But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Huh.
Enemy force neutralized.
Oh, right here.
Begin achievement activation.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
That's cool. That is actually pretty cool. Okay. Oh dear God, it's a maze.
Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Okay. Thanks, bro.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Okay. Ooh, what's
Hey,
up?
you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
Oh. Guess you're supposed to. Wow.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Okay. Just go into the beam again? Whoa! I'm doing... Whoa. Whoa!
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him.
Whoa, that's
Because
big.
yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
Okay. That's so cool. Okay, so it's still November 2008. Oh, what's up? Can't move. Past was behind her.
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
Oh, what? That is cool and weird at the same time. Okay.
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative.
Keep changing.
It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing
Crap,
trope.
suck at walking behind. Come on. Oh, hey, there's a thing, okay? When she stops, it becomes clearer. But if the future is always behind her, how will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
That was very quick. Okay. November 2008. Oh, whoa. Guys, oh, dude, this is totally giving me a scary feeling. You are now entering. Okay. Entering what?
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
Oh, okay. No, dude, I got you, fam. Okay, December 2008. Now, the months are changing.
Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
Okay, do I walk up these? Okay. Whoa, are we walking slower? Whoa!
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
There we go.
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Press you to surrender. Yo. Surrender.
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
Ah. Alright. I guess that's what the meaning of this... Your game. I am. Nobody will... Okay, January 2009. Ready, set, fish. Whoa, this is giving me a Silent Hill playable t-shirt kind of thing. Oh, never mind. That's different. Ooh, why is it so laggy? Okay. What's up, boy?
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Okay. Out of the door. Is there a lever here? Lever. The heck? Oh wait, do I like flip it? Wait, maybe I'm supposed to like... Aha! Aha! That's smart.
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're gonna see it a lot.
Okay. Left dodge.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. All right, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Okay. Whoa! Whoa!
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world.
Oh.
Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
Alright. Alright. This is cool. This is cool. I'm liking. Oh, it's this again. You're now exiting. Okay.
So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Loading. March 2009. Really took you that long to process a game where you just... I mean, I get it. The Great and Lovely Descent. Okay. Oh, whoa. Okay. That's a house. What's up, house? How you doing? My name is Jeff.
Let's talk about video game development for a second.
Okay.
Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does
By
poorly.
Valve.
One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
Aha!
The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You might consider paying attention to the architecture in Coda's games to notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
I guarantee this. Oh, whoa. This is big. Big. Ooh, what is this? Whoa. Oh, close. Gonna crouch. What? What is that? Oh! Where do I go in here? So. Okay, I guess I can.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go.
Oh,
If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
thank you. Let me go back.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
Dude, you're totally addicted with it. I'm just kidding. I can't really blame him since I play like video games every day. It's kind of my thing.
It's the puzzle again,
Ooh.
with the exact same solution as the last time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. This is so easy. Wrecked. Oh, whoa.
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
It's sky. I can see it. Wait, what's in here? Whoa, what is that? Hello, people. You there? Did you come from up
Here,
above?
Coda begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Okay, you there. Where did you come from up above? What was up there? It's a world stamp with my Norse prison I spent. It's floating colored blocks. there. This is important. Did you have to get through two doors? Yes, I did. That was literally the last thing. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how. I do remember. Try hard to remember. It's so important. Can you think of harder? There must be something more. Please tell us how to reach the end. Oh. Do we go through? Oh, I guess we go through here. Oh, wait, it's these guys. Wait, whoa, it's kind of like Stanley Parable stuff. No. Fine. See it, yes? Actually, now that you mentioned it, I feel really strange as I pass through it. Don't think too hard about it. You'll see it again soon. Okay. Through here again. Now it's stairs. Stairs and walls. Stairs.
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Okay. Thanks, dude. Ew. Whoa! How do we get here? What's this thing?
It's a lamppost.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I can't tell you
I've never
quite
seen a
why,
lamppost.
but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination.
That's smart.
We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
Okay. Oh no, don't fade out. Alright, April 2009. Alright. This game is connected to the internet. As you walk around, you can leave notes. All notes you see are left by other players. Well. Oh no. Nice room. Not. So funny, huh? Okay.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
What the heck?
But it's ironic, isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. that I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
Huh. Dude, this is weird. Why would he do that? Why would Coda do that? That's actually really... This is a note. Don't listen to the other notes. I'm not safe. Yes, you are. School. Painting. What does it mean? Whoever made this has issues. Wow, Coda says that about himself. Okay. Who are all of you? We all die. Stop pretending you are the people. Spoilers, it doesn't mean anything. Devil Tower Star. He was himself the most horrible creature he could imagine. Well, I'm here now. Yeah, we're all here now. Must be a reason for it, though. This terrible secret, he kept it well. I beat the game. More room.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
Yep. Developer answers, please. Dude, it's so easy.
Because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment, a few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Guys, it's not so bad in here. Oh, I'm supposed to... Hey, someone made it! Hey, I'm so glad this... Whoa, what is that? How do you leave notes? Another link post! Oh, these are notes! Oh, whoa, are you there? Please say something. If you see anything, I just need you to say something. Talk to me, please. Why are you having so much difficulty talking? Speak. I don't think it'll stop. Speak. 8th June 2009. Oh.
Okay, this one is tough. It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Okay. Oh, whoa. The door opened. Guys, if this has anything inappropriate... I didn't know this was inappropriate. I thought it was like... ear or something. I don't believe this game cusses a lot, but it might cuss.
See, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Version 2. There's nothing here. What furniture ought to go to the center of the room? Put a giant hole in the ground. How about a TV with surround sound? A refrigerator. Let's put a giant freaking hole in the ground. Oh, yep, that's a giant hole in the ground. Along the wall of the room. I really like a walling machine. Let's put a huge picture of a horse. 10 stoves lined up along. Let's put a huge picture of a horse. Why not? Yeah. 2 huge pictures. I'm sorry. Light up this room for a bit. Skylight. Open this. Let's put live Tesla coils in each corner. Yeah. A table. You need table. Tables were invented by 1935. I'm pretty sure none of my choices are making any difference. Who are you? Tables were invented in 1935. Boy. There you go. Whoa!
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
Yeah. I mean, you're right, but it's like, what?
So, okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello, please walk forward. There you go. This guy will enable you to escape any prison funds. First, click on this table. Good. Now go over to the photo frame and click to turn it slightly. Now turn the floor lamp in this room off, then turn it back on. Off, on. Now go to the left side sofa. Move it a little. Finally, touch the shelves. That's it. In real services, escape will now open. Now return to the start. Okay, so click on the table. Turn that off and on. Do that. Alright. Turn to the start. Return. Oh no! Alright, click on. I got this.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape.
Oh, where's the painting?
Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside.
What the?
Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this. To see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice.
It's just a bunch of random crap.
That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going. And then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Oh. The lamp toast. It's a lamppost. Aha! We've reached our destination. Okay. Oh. What's this? Whoa! Who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you from after you escape from prison. You're me? So you're trapped in this prison too? Yep, I was in the furniture maze. Yep, I was.
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
It feels like being completely still and wildly emotions. Actually, I'm forgetting what being in prison is like. Really, how long has it been since you got out? Years. Like, I've been standing right here looking up the nerve to talk to you. Only a few minutes. Years. Like, years? I haven't been here for years, I don't think. This is really hard to admit, but I was afraid to make this call. Time moves differently for you than it does for me. Maybe the prison is just affecting me in a strange way. Wait, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? Yes, I did get a call. That's how I escaped. What did they tell you? What did you have to do to get out? Ask me how I felt of being in prison. What? They freed you? That freed you? How does that work? Listen, you can't know until you know. I promise it works. Okay? I feel afraid that nothing will ever change. Come on.
I can see why he considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay.
Huh.
Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be nice. August 2009. Speaking of August, it's the first day of August today. So, happy first day of August, everyone. 2016.
So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Oh, well, it's a thing. It's a trail. If you
To
don't
me,
get on
this
it.
environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle, with the two doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Oh, yeah, but where's the lever? What's the lever? Well, my goodness, I'm glad as all heck you showed up. I thought I might be having to clean this entire house all by myself. And right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows lonesome hands make a loud
You'll notice that the quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
We're cleaning this whole place. That's the story, little one. Oh, don't you worry now. We'll be through this mess in no time. I promise you'll wish there was more. Why don't I finish up here, and in the meantime, could you please clear the table? Clear the table. Boom! They're much nicer. That's the table I want to see. We'll just run into the bedroom and make the bed. Yeah, sure. I totally know where the bedroom is. I don't even know your name. I don't even know your life. There you go. Make the bed. While you're in there, why don't you straighten out the rug for a little bit? All the details matter. Not the rug. Boom. Wrecked. How'd you end up doing this job? A friend dragged me along at a time when I was particularly desperate for cash. Turns out I never felt so good for doing something for money in my whole life. Never did like cleaning my own home. Might have got some demons I ain't ready to face yet. But speaking of demons, someone's put this couch in a whole mess. Would you come out and straighten these pillows here? Yeah, sure. Gotcha, fam. Oh dear, looks like someone spilled a drink over by the couch. Maybe mop that up as long as you're there. I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Make it especially cheesy, boy. Dot dot dot. Dot dot dot. No. Dot dot dot. No, it was stupid. Sorry. Never mind. Hey, these dishes need to be washed. Why don't you come do that? Wash the dishes. Done. Last time we checked the tub needs to be cleaning. How about you scrub it down as much as you can? No need to be perfect. We're all just human. Scrub the tub. All those books still scattered on the floor of the bedroom. Can you please, if so, can you please put them on the shelf? Perfect. Now then, how about you come and clear these
After the
dishes off
intense
the
set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful. I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time, just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Thought. Earlier when I said I had a really cheesy thought, I was going to say that it occurred to me that no one's house is a lot like going to school. Take care of it, take care of you. Don't know why that's so weird saying. Yeah, you're right, that's pretty cheesy. But there's a bit of truth in it, no? Anyway, so, housekeeping. Let's keep doing this. Books, would you please clean up the books? Thanks. No props up, man. Well, I thought you could do it through the wall, just like, I'm so beast, man. Alright, organize stuff. Done. Organize stuff. Oh goodness, those pillows.
I'm glad he found some peace.
There you go. It's on this couch. Have to die. Question.
But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door at the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
Come on. Let's go. Jump, 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 jump. There you go. A lamppost. Guess we made it.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
September 2009. Items you love.
This one gets a bit goofy.
Why did you come here today? Was it to improve your life? Was it to get a better job? Was it to make your relationships more meaningful? No. You came here to become perfect. The workshop is going to teach you how to be perfect. I want your friends, the people in your life to look at you and think, wow, this person is a better human being than I am. Right now, who do you think about that way in your own life? Who do you know is so well developed as a person that they think so that you feel disgusted with yourself compared to whom you feel useless, selfish, ungrateful? I intend you to make into that person. Perfection is within your grasp. And the question is not how we do it, but how we do it effortlessly. This is easy. It is so easy. It is
About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
Being perfect is effortless. Oh! This is the key.
And you play as the teacher.
How do I...
Suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Let me tell you right now. It isn't effortless. That's not the right answer. If you are trying to torture yourself by trying to find the right solutions for your life, you're not doing it this right. Seek out only one thing. What is the easiest, simplest path forward? Ha ha ha! Just kidding. Do what is easiest, what is simplest. Feel what is true. Everybody! Oh, I clicked too. It's coming for you, I'm going to distract you.
I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot these days.
January 2010. Oh, what do you know, guys? January 2010. Happy New Year! Ooh, this again.
This one took a lot longer than all the others for Coda to make. It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex.